drugs have never been more marketed than they are now. From glossy business cards, raffles, fluorescent branded pills and websites with menus, drug dealing has come a long way from a bloke saying, weed, cocaine, MDMA on a street corner.
Now it's all about Snapchat, Instagram.
Since this industry exploded onto social media, drug dealers have brazenly used public accounts on Snapchat and Instagram to shop their wares.
It's easy, anyone can do it. You can sit at home and make an account.
The most recent European drug report referred to this as an Uberization of the drug market, with it now being easier to order a gram of GAC than a pizza. But with this ease of access and glossy marketing has come a dark outcome. A sharp uptake in drug use in children as young as 10.
It's their choice to get their kicks at the end of the day.
The world has been hit by a wave of high-profile deaths of children who have taken Class A drugs such as ecstasy, and many have been found to have bought those drugs on Instagram and Snapchat. So I searched the apps to see how easy it is to buy drugs.
So I'm going to try and order some drugs online, and to do this I'm going to set up my own Instagram account and Snapchat account, and I'm going to see if I can add dealers on it and basically pick up. So I've chosen some quite young looking pictures. Panda Mars was quite recent, to be fair. And I've tried to put quite childish captions beneath, screams youth. I'm going to see if they ask me how old I am or care how old I am. And I'm also going to try and see how quickly it is to get a response from them. I might type in ecstasy and see what comes up. Oh my God. Okay, so there's MasterCard pills, mushrooms, acid, MDMA, pills, Trump pills. There's also some Supreme pills here. This guy's shot in crystal meth. Oh God, doesn't look very appetizing. I found this account, which is 104 dealers that are using Snapchat that you can contact if you just type in their name. So it's basically a drug dealer's directory. And Snapchat is a predominantly under 18 market, so it's kind of unsurprising that a lot of kids come across drugs on Snapchat because they literally use it all the time. I've just got a message from someone called Plug Life. He just goes, hi, hey, how are you? Oh, I keep asking them how they are. Oh God, it's popping off. He wants to post it. And I guess in a way that kind of makes it less intimidating for kids to buy drugs. All I need is an address and a Snapchat account. Okay, I hope we are to proceed immediately. He's a bit aggy. I don't want to order off this guy. I got a message from this guy being like, yo, what's your order? And where are you located? And I said, hey, I'm in London, is that okay? And he goes, yeah, what's your order and what's your address for drop off? That literally took me 5 minutes and I could already be going to pick up some drugs.
With buying drugs on social media being so fast and simple, I wondered whether the platforms had also made it easier to operate as a dealer in the first place. So I organised to meet a young dealer who had recently got into selling cocaine and weed on social media. How did you first get into it?
All my friends are doing it, and so it's got a little bit of stuff and went from there, really. Got an account without my name on it, obviously, so people would message me on Snapchat or Instagram. I've been doing it for years and I've never been arrested or anything, so.
Do you think that's a bit risky because it's kind of just out there for everyone to see?
I know the risks, but if you want money, then you've got to do it, ain't you? Nothing worth having comes easy, does it?
What percentage of your customers come through social media?
Good 90% at least.
Wow, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, probably more, mainly all on social media now.
So tell me the process, how it works.
Well, I wake up in the morning, go buy my stuff, whatever, and then put a picture of it on Instagram. People who like it and stuff, they'll DM me, and then goes from there, really. I just, whatever they want, I've got it, innit? Then they'll come meet me and I'll sell it to them.
When you post a pic and it gets loads of likes, does it feel kind of like a holiday pic? Does it feel good?
So if I put a picture up and no one liked it, I'll be a bit wounded, so.
Have you kind of got to be like an Instagram influencer to progress?
But obviously, I suppose if you've already got a big following and a lot of people trust you, then it's better to start like that. But so I don't necessarily use hashtags and stuff, but it's just more through people liking my pictures and then other people see it. But the picture doesn't stay up for long anyway, it only stays up for about half a day, and I take it down. Anyone can sell nowadays. You see little kids, 12-year-olds and everything, setting up accounts and that. It's easy, isn't it? Anyone can do it. You can sit at home, make an account, and make money. Who doesn't want to do that?
Social media has clearly made it easier for young people to both become drug dealers and take drugs. And since drugs have radically shifted into the digital sphere, there has been a slew of deaths among young people. I'd heard about the death of a 13-year-old girl in Warrington named Ebony, who had died of an ecstasy overdose at the end of 2018. Feeling let down by the police, her mother, Kerry, has since made it her mission to find who was responsible for selling drugs to her child.
On the 1st of December, something just made me get up out of bed and just go and check on her. Walked to her bedroom, opened the door, and she was having a seizure. So the ambulance people got in and I just seen Ebony on the stretcher and they're resuscitating her. I'm sorry, trying to bring her back to life, you know, trying to get her heart working. I just collapsed in the hospital.
And what do you suspect happened?
Well, it's been put in a drink, we know that. It's come back that actually the bottles were laced with MDMA. I have heard that there's quite a lot of teenagers, like young, say 13, 14 onwards, that are taking this stuff. But it is around the Liverpool areas where there has been quite a few deaths. People are coming forward saying to me that there are people that are using Instagram and Snapchat to sell drugs, and maybe Ebony got her drugs from there. We put a Rest in Peace Ebony page up. That's a page on Instagram which is run by 3 of her friends, Ebony's close friends. It basically says, anybody please give any information and it'll remain anonymous. And we have had plenty of information. Quite a few of the text messages say, you know, this drug's come from a gang called Happy Days. The police need to look at that. I've had no response off the police. The police haven't visited me once. Myself and the neighbours, we've been doing our own investigations. This is a conversation that I had with one of the police officers.
It looks like that this job has fallen through the net, in that it's kind of fallen into a pool of jobs currently not being handled by anybody.
I'm sorry, that's shit.
That is shit.
Yeah.
These people need investigating, but I haven't got the means and the resources to be doing that. That's the police's job.
Kerry has received a series of anonymous tip-offs that Ebony may have been sold drugs by a Snapchat gang known as Happy Days, who apparently operate outside a toddler's soft play centre of that name. I went to help Kerry flyer there.
I've got a flyer here. It's asking for anybody with any information about the death. I've been putting all these posters up around this area until I get the answers and I find out who's responsible for my daughter's death.
You're not going to stop?
I won't stop. And do you know what? I can see why people take the law into their own hands as well, definitely. So this is now Happy Days, the building we're approaching. Happy Days is a soft play area where kids go. But overnight, when the building's shut down, it's been known that like a few gangs will hang around here and sell the drugs to the kids. They call themselves the Happy Days crew.
And how did you find that out?
It was kids on the internet telling me. They think that Ebony's drug come from here. Happy Days does have a part of Instagram and selling drugs. I know there's a connection.
And do you think social media sites need to be held accountable?
I don't think there's a lot we can do about that, to be honest, unless somebody stands up and reports them for doing it. I need parents just to be a little bit more aware and talk to the kids about drugs. I know we all do as parents. I did to my kids. Kids need to be told to stay away from that stuff. You don't know what you're getting and you are playing Russian roulette with your life. If there is anything going on with social media, just stay away from it.
So what's your end goal for all of this?
I just want to find out who's responsible for Ebony's death. I want them held accountable.
I'm going to meet a couple of teenage drug dealers, the kind of drug dealers that Ebony and her friends might have been buying drugs off. They sell on Instagram and Snapchat, and I want to find out how they think social media has changed the game of drug dealing. So what are you guys selling tonight?
Some flake, some colour, some weed. Different types of weed.
What's in there?
That's flake, that. Cocaine, yeah.
And you've been doing that for how long?
About 5 years.
And how old are the people usually what's the kind of age range of the people that buy drugs?
Yeah, mostly adults, cocaine.
That's true, because it's expensive. Is it because MDMA's cheap, the kids like that?
Dirt cheap. Yeah, dirt cheap. At tenner or something.
Really? A tenner for a gram? Wow, that's cheap. Who's that ringing?
It doesn't matter.
Is that your dealer phone?
Yeah.
How do you guys usually sell your drugs?
Probably Snapchat and shit like that.
Snapchat and Instagram. Just different sorts of like weed and that. Just menus and that. That's all I know. Different bots and that.
We get a lot of money. We put it on Snapchat. There's a lot more people coming to us. You get a lot more money.
You help
That's
people
how
like
much you
by
get
getting
for.
like fast things and stuff, say overweigh the bags and stuff. They shout you out and that, and then you get more costume. Like their mates will come on to you and stuff, so they're earning you money, do you know what I mean?
And do you think that kids are subjected to drugs more now?
I've seen kids doing them about 12 years old and that. Things like that. Like really young ages. No matter what age they are, doesn't matter. It's their choice to go out on Snapchat and get
friends
it.
group. If your friends they do it, we don't, do you know what I mean? You're the one that do you know what I mean, texts for it. We don't text you asking do you want it. So they're the ones that's coming to us. And we're not like persuading them, we don't try and do them deals or something. If they text us from it, or he puts in a story or something, then they'll get served, obviously. And then they shout you out and put you in their story, and then their friends come to you, do you know what I mean? So they're getting your costume and that.
Right, so that's a way that they find it.
Yeah.
So it's more people telling each other.
It's worth getting about, innit? It's their choice to get the drugs at the end of the day. People have got to make the money some way. If you've got to sell drugs, you've got to do it.
Have you guys heard of young people around this area dying from taking drugs?
People take dodgy ecstasy tablets and that.
Like teenagers.
Teenagers, 16, 15 and that.
And have you heard of the stories of young people dying from buying off Snapchat and Instagram?
I don't know where it comes from.
Don't know. Turn it off.
And again?
I'm gonna ring you.
What were they asking for?
Doesn't matter.
These are just two of many kids who have gotten into drug dealing in this area. And despite knowing the potential fatal consequences, they seem quite unconcerned about selling to minors. This explosion of drug dealing onto social media and its repercussions are now being debated in the halls of government. Drug NGO VoltFast recently published a study that documents the tech-savvy ways the industry has been revolutionised.
Our polling data identified that it's Facebook, Snapchat and Instagram where drugs are most commonly seen. Social media is the ideal platform for drug dealers, so they can adopt similar marketing techniques that legitimate businesses would use, do bundles, they can do giveaways. We found that 1 in 4 young people see drug adverts on social media, which I thought was astonishingly high. We found that most of what they see is cannabis, but actually cocaine, MDMA, Xanax, nitrous oxide were also quite high up. I think we should note that NHS data has shown that Class A drug use amongst 11 to 15-year-olds is increasing.
Do the police force have resources to go through social media and look for drug dealers?
From what I can see, no, they don't. They don't even have the resources to be dealing with more traditional methods of dealing, where it happened on the street.
When I went through your report, there was a text of different emojis that you thought that drug dealers would use when they're online. Do you think the police force don't know about that kind of thing?
Yeah, and something that we recommend in our report is that there should be a regulatory obligation for social media platforms to monitor their sites, be aware of what would be examples of the sort of emojis and language that dealers are using. And we make the case that they should be passing that information on to the police.
Would you say that social media has made it easier for people to become drug dealers?
I think it absolutely has. Actually, what social media is doing is it's advertising to mainly young people how easy it is to become a drug dealer. We're really worried by that.
When that new audience involves minors, we're in a terrifying new world where kids are taking substances that their bodies can't handle, which is made worse by the fact that they don't have any education on drugs and how much is too much. Should social media giants be forced to shut down every account that's selling drugs? Or should the authorities work closer with these companies to better regulate this digital Wild West? What's certain is that spreading harm reduction education, especially at a young age, would help prevent these endless deaths of young people.